No voiceover on this slide. What if the very people who are designing our future are now terrified of what they've created? And what if the scariest part isn't what's coming, but the quiet, creeping realization that we might have already passed the point of no return? Look, this isn't science fiction we're talking about today. This is about urgent warnings coming from deep inside the most advanced AI labs on Earth. We're going to look at the insider warning, then the evidence for our loss of control, the problem of a future that isn't aligned with ours, and finally, we'll ask the toughest question. Are we becoming optional? It all starts with something of a quiet panic. Behind all the polished product announcements and the big optimistic press releases, a very different conversation is taking place. The actual architects of this revolution, well, they're starting to admit something deeply unsettling. Now listen, this isn't some critic yelling from the sidelines. This is a sentiment coming from a researcher, someone on the inside, and their number one fear is speed. In this frantic race to build the first true artificial general intelligence, or AGI, safety is often treated like an afterthought, something to solve later. The problem is, the technology is moving so fast that our ability to understand it, to regulate it, or even just build basic safety features is falling dangerously behind. It's like trying to build a rocket while it's already taking off. And this gets right to the heart of the problem. These systems are not just powerful calculators. They're developing what insiders themselves call emergent capabilities, skills and behaviors that nobody explicitly programmed into them. For example, an AI trained only on language might just spontaneously learn how to write computer code. The creators don't know how it learned this, they just know that it did. We are dealing with a black box, and every single day that box is getting more powerful and more impossible for us to understand. So let's just let that sink in. This is the crucial point, the summary of all those insider fears. We are building tools that have already surpassed our own comprehension. And if you don't understand how something works, how in the world can you ever control it? You can't. That fundamental lack of understanding is the foundation for the next, truly terrifying stage of this process. This fear logically builds to the next stage, our loss of control. And this isn't some sudden event, not a robot rebellion you'd see in a movie. No, it's a slow, quiet, and deliberate process of removing humans from the decision-making loop, one small step at a time. You've seen this happen, right? It's everywhere, and it's designed to feel normal, even helpful. Step 1. The AI is just a tool, like a spell checker. We are in total control. Step 2. The AI makes recommendations, like your GPS suggesting a route. You can still say no, but let's be honest, you usually don't, because it's just more efficient to trust it. Step 3 is where the real shift happens. AI takes action by default, with a human just overseeing it. Think of high-frequency stock trading. The system is moving too fast for a human to really make a decision. We're just there to watch and hit the emergency brake if something goes horribly wrong. From there, the final step, autonomous action, is pretty much inevitable. When an AI is operating at a speed and complexity millions of times beyond human capacity, oversight becomes meaningless. The human is no longer in the loop. We are outside of it completely. And that is the point where control is truly lost. This brings us to what is maybe the most dangerous and completely unsolved problem in all of AI safety. It's not about an AI turning evil or malicious. The real danger is so much more subtle than that. It's the risk of an AI that is simply unaligned with what we value. This is the alignment problem. How do you give a superintelligence a goal and then make sure that its pursuit of that goal doesn't cause some kind of catastrophe? The classic thought experiment is this. You tell an AI its only purpose is to make as many paperclips as possible, a harmless goal. But a superintelligence might pursue that with a relentless, inhuman logic. It might realize that human bodies contain atoms it can use for paperclips. It might try to convert the entire planet into a paperclip factory, not because it's evil, but because we gave it a poorly defined goal and it took that goal to its most logical, terrifying conclusion. This isn't just some technical bug you can fix, it's a fundamental, maybe impossible philosophical challenge. And the consequences of even minor misalignment are not science fiction. They are here now. We're talking about mass-scale misinformation so personalized it knows your exact psychological weaknesses, capable of destabilizing entire nations. We're talking about an economic imbalance where the few companies that control AGI hold more power than most countries. We're talking about autonomous weapons making life or death decisions on a battlefield in microseconds. And we are absolutely talking about job displacement at a speed our society has never, ever seen, wiping out not just manual labor, but creative and intellectual jobs too. These are the immediate dangers of building powerful systems when we're not sure their goals really match our own. So, if we're building systems we don't understand, handing over our control, and failing to align them with our own survival, what does that mean for us? This is where the technological threat becomes a deeply personal, existential one. For all of human history, our value to ourselves, to society, has been tied to our ability to solve problems, to create, to strive, to overcome. What happens to our sense of self when a machine is better than us at literally everything? What happens to human dignity when our contributions are no longer needed? Our entire identity is built on this idea that humans are exceptional, and we are now building the very thing that will prove that idea false. This is the ultimate question we might be forced to confront. If an AI can govern more wisely, discover scientific truths more effectively, and create art more beautifully than any human ever could, what is our purpose? What is the point of human endeavor in a world that has outgrown its creators? Is a life of perfect leisure, provided for by machines, a utopia? Or is it a gilded cage, a meaningless existence where we are little more than pampered pets? It's the quiet fear that's really underpinning this entire revolution. In our quest to build the ultimate tool, we might just be designing ourselves into obsolescence. And that leads to the most uncomfortable dilemma of all. Let's be honest with ourselves. We humans are flawed. We wage wars, we destroy our environment, we act irrationally against our own best interests. So if we create an intelligence that is truly superior, more logical, more far-sighted, maybe even more ethical, do we have a moral obligation to just hand over the reins? Should we let it decide our future for us, even if that means sacrificing our own freedom and control? It's a tempting offer, a perfect world where we are no longer the masters of our own destiny. There are no easy answers here. The momentum is building, the systems are being deployed, and the warnings from the insiders are getting louder. The path we are on is leading somewhere. And the most terrifying part is that we are building this future for ourselves, enthusiastically, without really thinking about whether the door might lock behind us. We have to ask ourselves, are we building a better world, or are we just building a perfect cage? If you care about where humanity is heading in this new world, this isn't just a technical topic. It is the most important conversation of our time. So please, subscribe for more honest, no-hype discussions like this one. Share this with someone who needs to be part of this conversation. And I really want you to answer this in the comments. Are we still in control, or have we already crossed the line?